So we've arrived in Yellowknife on the Canadian North Flight 439 from Rankin Inlet. Our next flight now is to Edmonton. As we do on every flight, we need to do a pre-flight walk-around, safety check of the outside of the airplane. So I'll start that check right now. So as we do the walk around of the airplane, basically for the fuselage and the wings of the airplane, I'm just checking for good condition of everything. Doesn't seem to be any dents. We haven't hit any birds. There doesn't seem to be any major streaks on the airplane. I'm going to give the tires an actual kick to make sure that they're not flat. I'm checking the condition of the brakes as well to make sure that we still have we have brake wear indicators here. They'll tell us the condition of how much is left on the brakes. Make sure there's not any fluids leaking or anything like that on the oleo. Make sure that there's actually some silvers that you can see. Go around the inside of the airplane. We go into the wheel well area where there's a number of hydraulic lines and hydraulic reservoirs. There's also some fire extinguisher bottles in this area as well. So we're just checking inside this area. Make sure there's not going to be any damage, no fluids are leaking out of this area. Also, a very key component to the walk around is to make sure that the gear bay lights actually work, because we can actually see from different parts inside the cabin whether or not the gear is extended or not. So it's important to have those lights working, so we have to make sure that those lights are on. We also check and make sure that the tire is in good condition, as well as the wheel. Gear door. Check underneath the wing and make sure everything seems to be okay here. On the engines, we're just making sure that all the cowls seem to be in the right position. Flaps are all the way up. Making sure that the reverser doors are closed. Look inside the back of the engine. You can actually see one of the last stages of the engine compressor in there, so you can see if that's at all damaged. And now we're just checking the flap guides. Looking for any aileron droops, any nuts that seem to be missing. Checking the position lights on the airplane as well. Static wicks. Navigation lights. Again, checking the leading edge of the wing. Make sure there doesn't seem to be any damage. We didn't hit any birds on the way in that we need maintenance to have a look at for us. Again, on the other side of the number one engine, making sure that all the doors are closed. A couple of warning signs on here. The engine's actually off right now, but this is for ground personnel to make sure they don't walk into the danger area. One of the unique features of the 737-200 and the Combi series with the gravel kit on it is the vortex dissipator that we have right underneath the engine. There's high pressure air that comes right out of the engine and it floats down this tube. And right here, there's these two knob end parts here. And so the high pressure air comes all the way out and it basically sprays a high pressure, almost like a fan of air down at the ground. So if you can picture, this engine is running, it actually creates a vortex, and it actually sucks gravel and soot into the engine inlet. So what this thing does is when we have this running, especially on a gravel ramp or gravel runway, this thing dissipates the vortex so that we don't ingest, or we minimize the ingestion of the gravel or dust going into the engine. Next thing I'm going to check is to make sure that the bullet is in good condition, and this hole right here is an indicator or a sensor for our engine pressure ratio. So we want to make sure that that is clear. Just checking the condition of the blades as we can see them. As we go in and out of gravel strips, sometimes the blades will take a little bit of damage. Just checking to make sure that the ram door seems to be not blocked. Right now they have the cargo door open, so we're just making sure that there isn't any cargo being loaded on and off the airplane. Alternate static port right here, just want to make sure it's not blocked. Underneath the airplane, outflow And we've also got our E&E bays down here. We want to make sure that that is closed. Another key feature of the 737-200 with the gravel kit is the thing that we call the nose ski. It looks very much like a ski that you would have as if you were skiing. Basically what it's doing is it's trying to prevent gravel from bouncing up into the towards the back of the airplane and being ingested into the engines. Very unique feature for this airplane. It alters the gear speed quite a bit. This airplane is limited to 180 knots for extension and retraction. Just making sure that the springs seem to be in good condition. The ski itself is in good condition. Doesn't seem to be too many leaks at all on the hydraulic line that runs through to the ski. And we're also making sure that we can see some oleo displacement here on the front nose gear. Checking the pitot tubes, the TIT, and again we're going to check the nose wheel bay. There's a light inside the nose wheel bay so that we can ensure that when we look down there to make sure that we got the gear extended if we have to. Give the tires a kick to make sure that they're inflated. And then just checking the nose, front of the airplane. The airplane's plugged into ground power right now. This is the ground power receptacle right now. That's why the airplane is a little bit quieter on the outside than it normally would if we would have the APU running. Lab service door, make sure that's closed. You can see the unique door that we have here on the 737-200 Combi with the gravel kit. This is normally straight down, and this is not normally here on a regular 737. That's to accommodate the nose wheel coming into the gear well, but also being able to retract the ski in there as well. Oxygen service, another alternate static source. Check the condition of the cargo bay. Ram air door again. Lights, wing light. Again, same thing with this side of the engine. We're just making sure that all the cowl doors seem to be closed. The cowl seems to be latched in all its latch points. Again, we're checking the vortex dissipator, making sure there isn't any damage to it. The bullet cone, making sure that the sensor is not blocked, and again checking the blades to make sure that we haven't picked up any new damage from any ingestion of FOD. Again, just checking the leading edge, making sure that there doesn't seem to be any damage. Got a green position light on this side. White position light on this side. Static wicks are in the place, and we're just checking the ailerons to make sure that any of the hinges don't seem to be broken. Checking the flap guides, making sure that they are not damaged. Again, the other side of the engine, thrust reverser. There's a green arrow here and a green band here. As long as those are in the right, or they're lined up, that means that the thrust reverser is stowed properly. These thrust reverser doors on the 200, you won't see this very often anymore. Very unique. The engine's actually finished quite a few feet up there, probably about 6 feet up there. That's the back of the engine, and the reverser doors are hydraulically actuated, so they actually come and they actually close like this. So it normally looks like a clamshell door, so it actually comes and goes like this to redirect the thrust forward in order to brake us. Give the tires a kick once more, checking the condition of the oleo for the right-hand gear, brake wire indicators. The Combi airplane with the gravel kit also has a little bit of protection on the bottom of the oleo to prevent a little bit of gravel spray coming up against the flaps. Again, we're going to check the other side of the right-hand gear well. some more hydraulic lines and reservoirs in here. So we're just going to check the condition of those, make sure there doesn't seem to be any leaks or any damage in here. And again, just checking the condition of the wheel itself. Aft cargo bay. It's the main outflow valve for the airplane. It's usually in the open position on the ground. Another static port down here. This is where they would service the aft lab and also put in the water. That vent up there is for the APU. It's very loud back here because this is where the intake of the APU is. So it's very loud sometimes. Right now it's not because the APU isn't running right now. Just want to check and make sure that the door seems to be in good condition. And now we're just checking the elevator of the airplane. You can get a good view of the airplane down the bottom of it. Last thing to look on the 737-200 is just to make sure that the APU is stored in this back tail cone area. So you can see there's a number of latches, and just make sure the latches seem to be all closed up. And that takes us to the rear door, which is where we load the passengers. Since we put the cargo in the front, we load the passengers in the back. So we have a special door in the back of the airplane. It actually folds down, contrary to most airplanes, which actually they open out. This one actually folds down, and the stairs actually unfold in about 2 hinges. They fold up once more, and then as the door comes into the airplane. So we just want to check and make sure that that seems to be in good order. And this handle indicates that the door is actually out. Airplane seems to be in good shape, so we shouldn't have any issues on our departure to Edmonton this evening.
Welcome back on board the continuation of Flight 439, shortly departing off Yellowknife down to Edmonton. We're going to be departing off Yellowknife's runway 16, southbound departure this evening. That'll take us a little bit east of Hay River, and then we'll continue straight down through the territories into Alberta. We'll be a little bit east of High Level, then just past Fort McMurray before we make a slight turn from the northwest of Edmonton into the Edmonton International Airport. Hope you enjoy this flight.
Empress 439 Tower, correction, Tower, contact Edmonton Center 135.8, airborne, clear takeoff, runway 16.
Going to go 1635 8, airborne for Empress 439. Goodbye.
Good day.
Clear takeoff.
Go 1064, left on Charlie, monitor ground 12.91 off taxi. Go 1064. Recovery 202, number 1, runway 10, 737 departing 16 at 1.
Thrust is set, 92, 92. 80 knots.
Check.
Recovery 202, wind 090 at 9, clear to land, runway 10, caution jet, blast from 737 to the intersection.
V1. Rotate.
Gear up.
Visibility 15, few cloud at 13,000, 23,000 scattered, temperature 24, dew point 10, altimeter 2958. IFR, approach ILS, runway 12, and RNAV, runway 20. Primary, landing and departing, runway 12, secondary, runway 20. Bravo, closed between Romeo and the threshold of runway 20.
Okay, the TTAG 1 arrival for Edmonton, runway 20. Looking at page 20-2, Juliet, effective 12th of December 2013.
That's what I got.
Okay, the routing should be TTAG, at or below flight level 190. Then PESGO, max 250 knots. VIPSO, DUDCO, at or above 6,000 feet, max 200 knots. Heading 020, followed by the Arnav Zulu runway 20, which should be Gabit, Ongal, and then runway 20, with a missed approach to Aliri and Kelra.
That's correct.
Okay, we'll fly the TTAG 1 as published, as briefed, followed by visual approach runway 20, airport elevations 2373, final approach course of 200. I'll have you call, or in the event of missed approach, we'll coordinate with the Edmonton Tower. Any questions?
No questions.
Empress 439, descend to 5,500.
Descend to 5,500 for Empress 439.
Check 10,000, 2958 set.
Empress 439 has the field and traffic in sight.
Empress 439, roger. Follow the 767, cleared visual approach runway 20.
Okay, follow the 67 and we're clear the visual on runway 20 for Empress 439.
Empress 439, roger. Contact tower 1183, good day.
18.3, thanks a lot. Tower evening, Empress 439 are following the 67 visual on runway 20.
Empress 439 Tower, good evening, number 2 for 20 behind the 67, still carrying 50 knots. On caution, turbulence behind. Wind 170 at 8, altimeter 2960.
Okay, we check 2960 for Empress 439.
Okay, go ahead, flaps 1. Absolutely.
And Empress 439, just keep reducing, please.
And we'll keep reducing the speed for Empress 439.
Tower Charge
One indicating.
155 with you, we're all set.
155 Tower, good evening, the wind 170 at 8, call departure 133.65 airborne, clear takeoff runway 12.
Flaps 5.
Clear takeoff 12, departure there, we'll talk on the way back, Charge 155.
Roger.
Five indicating.
Gear down, flaps 15, land check us the flaps.
Hey, landing check, gravel ops not required, passenger signs, FAs on 3 chimes, engine start switches are low, recall is checked, speed brake,
Arm green light,
landing gear,
down 3 green.
holding at the flaps.
Flaps 25.
25.
Air Canada 899, left at Bravo 4, contact ground 1217 off, connect.
Bravo 4, 1217, Air Canada 899.
Flaps 30, complete the land checklist.
Flaps.
30 green light.
Landing checklist is complete.
Autopilot disconnected.
4400 set for the missed approach.
Check.
Empress 439, you can plan Bravo 4 as well, wind 1709, clear to land runway 20.
Going to land 20, and that was Bravo 4 for Empress 439.
International Tower, good evening. Encore 3291 has been clear of the visual runway 12.
Ice Air 692 up on target.
692?
Ice Air 692, the wind 1709, contact departure 133.65 airborne. Clear takeoff runway 12.
Okay, 13365, when airborne, clear takeoff runway 12, Ice Air 692.
Encore 3291 Tower, good evening, number 1 for 12. 57 departing ahead, the wind 1709, altimeter 2960.
Encore 3291.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Good evening, Westjet 312 is with you. We're 4 back of Devon, slowing to 160.
Westjet 312 Tower, good evening, number 2 for 12. You're following the company Q inside the beacon, the wind 1709, altimeter 2960. Right back to final approach. You're still carrying about 60 knots on the company.
Hey, we're coming back to final.
Check.
Thank you. Member is 439 on Bravo 4, ground 121.7, good night.
Bravo 4, 21.9 for purpose of, or 21.7 for purpose of 439.
Roger. Encore 3291, wind 1809, clear to land
60
12.
knots.
Clear to
Check.
land 12, Encore 3291. Good evening, Encore 3291, we're on Alpha 1 for gate 49 Golf.
Well, this concludes Canadian North Flight 439. As you can tell, the 737-200 is an airplane we quite enjoy flying. For a lot of us here, it's the first jet we've flown, so it's a special airplane for us. And until we see you next time.
And yeah, it's been a pleasure having a crew aboard today to follow us around from Calais all the way down through to Edmonton. And we hope you enjoyed coming with us today.
Speed brake. Arm your leg, landing gear, jump through your
Turn your green light.
I'm check this one.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10,